already the fourth Tuesday of September. Yeah, I went by that fast, but that means it's Real Estate Remix. Poonam and Aruna in studio taking your questions at 35270. Ladies, welcome back. How's your month been?
Busy.
That's a good problem to have.
Yes.
Moving homes in is what I hear.
Yes, we are very excited because as July and August is normally like summer, people are taking vacations, they're not around. So me and my sister, we normally get hyped up as soon as September hits. I'm like, we're going to work. Yeah.
Actually, let's start there. There's a question that's waiting about a condo, and I'll get to that from this texter. But the question that I was going to ask, one of them is, people get in their minds that there are certain seasons that it's easier to buy or sell a home. And what I just heard is that might actually be the case. So is fall like a premier time to be moving homes?
Absolutely, because, like everybody want to sell and buy right before when we hit those winter storms. So it is a beautiful time to especially list the home because houses look so cozy with the fireplaces and with the, like those trees look so beautiful outside. So,
we can avoid the festive season when everybody is gathering, Thanksgiving. Nobody wants to be having their home listed and sitting on it and people coming showing. So we get less listings that time as well.
Okay, so it's pretty much this is the window, boys and girls. If you're thinking about listing right now, it's probably one of the best.
Yes,
okay.
I would, yes. And we are listing actually 4 homes just like within this week because all of our sellers they couldn't do it in the summer because of the family planning. So I'm literally listing 4 homes this week.
Okay.
But don't get discouraged. I mean, yes, this is a great window, but even winter can be good. Why? Because there's less inventory. So if for some reason you absolutely cannot list now and you're open to listing in the winter, it could be positive for you too because there's really low inventory.
Low inventory, and you know what we're doing? We're sitting scrolling on our phones trying to look at things anyway.
Yeah.
more eyes on the house from those that are just kind of wandering around online.
Yeah.
They can call you and get that help that they needed. Like this person texted into the show at 35270. I got to get to the actual question. I think I lost it here. But it was about a condo. And the question is, here it is. I got a question for the realtors. When I sold my condo, the buyer countered. My real estate agent told me he couldn't give me much advice on negotiating because the buyer's realtor worked for the same broker. Is it considered dual agency when the agents work for the same broker?
It does, yes. Whether it's the same agent representing both parties, seller or buyer, or if it's the 2 different agents from the same brokerage because your agency is with the brokerage. So it's 2 different agents, same brokerage. They're representing seller and buyer. It is considered dual. So the difference is, number one, I am a little confused with the question. Why was not it disclosed? When sellers were presenting with the offer initially, that's the time it should have been disclosed. Hey, this is a dual agency. The other agent is from my firm, which means my duties are going to be limited for you. So I would rather than becoming a role of a cheerleader versus a referee. So I'm going to be stepping back. I can facilitate, but I am not going to be able to help you with negotiation. So there should have been transparency from the beginning, which it seems like this came out later in the process when they had a counter offer.
That's how I read it, yeah.
Yeah, and that's not right. And other thing for sellers, even at that time, sellers should have been reminded, hey, do you remember before we listed your home, we presented you comparable market analysis? And if they have not, that's a bad practice. Aruna can go over the comparable market analysis, how, we present our, how do you list your home? We can definitely give you the facts, but we cannot give you opinions or strategies. So, we're going to tell you what the market is. Aruna can take over from here.
Okay.
When we talk about this comparable market analysis, and Poonam has a point, this agent, definitely seller's agent, would have prepared comparable market analysis for the seller upfront when they were listing the home. Mm-hmm. And when they got the offer, seller should have a little bit idea already what's his low, what is his high, and what is his recommended number. So I get it. The agent couldn't tell him, hey, you should offer this because of the dual agency representation. I can't tell you exactly the number you should be going for. But at the same time, the agent and the seller should have talked and discussed the numbers, low, high, and recommended before even they listed the house. So poor seller had some kind of idea, if I get the offer $5,000 less or $10,000 less, where I stand with my offer negotiation.
So the main difference in dual agency and just representing one party is, if you were just representing one party, you're kind of advocating fully for that party. But when it becomes dual, you become facilitator. You're not advocating, like not taking one side over other. But that should have been disclosed before even you start your relationship, way early in the process.
So in that person's situation, now it's probably too late, but did they have options? Let's say, okay, they found out late in the game that it's a dual agency. Now you maybe question, the realtor that you were using. Do they have an option to go elsewhere, or is it too late in the game for that?
It all depends. Okay. That gets more legal. I'm not a lawyer. It all depends how transparent they were. If they think that this was done purposely,
or not disclosed at the time when he brought them the offer.
Okay.
So definitely things can be like a little bit complicated in this situation. But again, at the end of the day, sellers and buyers have full rights to go, hey, why I was not being told.
Yeah, because I imagine when that was presented, if it was as late in the game, you kind of feel stuck as that, that homeowner that, okay, well, now I don't feel like I can counter, even though you still have that opportunity to counter.
Yes.
But you're not getting the help that you kind of signed up for with your agents, you know?
Yeah, that would be misrepresentation, maladaptive behavior. So it all depends. Now it goes more towards the legal side, what was disclosed and what was not disclosed.
I got more questions for you, ladies, coming into 35270. Question for Poonam and Aruna. I am buying land from a divorced couple. One spouse will not sign off. What can I do?
Oh, my God. Can you do anything? When a wife and husband are fighting, can you really do anything?
So
I don't want to be in the middle of it. That's for damn sure.
So I think question has to be more clear. First of all, is it a buyer writing this question to us?
This person saying, I'm buying land from a divorced couple. One spouse won't sign off.
Okay, so there's no agent.
From a divorced couple. It all depends how the divorce, are they going through divorce? What does the divorce degree say? Because in North Dakota, if you own a piece of property and you've owned it from the time you've been married, is it on a joint name? So it all boils down to, do they own it together? What does the divorce decree say? So if there was a client of mine who was going through this, I would tell them to be cautious and have all the legal sites covered. And even if it's covered, I would then recommend them to have the title owner insurance policy as well, just in case if something happens in the future.
Okay, very good. More questions coming in. We got to take a quick break. Poonam and Aruna are in studio. It's Real Estate Remix. If you're looking to buy or sell, you got some random questions that are unique, by all means, send those in, and we'll ask them when we come back here on KFGO. You keep asking questions in the Adventure RV Text Club, and I'll keep asking Poonam and Aruna the questions you've got. Tyler, my house sold in 3 days in early August. Then after a month, our buyers who were first-time buyers backed out due to costs. Now the house is back on the market, but it seems fewer people are interested in looking. Open house during the Vikings game was a bust. What would work better? Aruna, I'll throw it your way first.
Okay. So first I want to talk about the open house. He said it went bust, right?
During the Vikings game.
During the Viking games, because I was actually one of the realtor also who was doing open house during the Viking game this Sunday, isn't it? Was it 12 to 30?
Yeah, it was 12. Yeah, 12 game.
Yeah, 12. Yeah, so I was doing open house. So long story short, 15 years working in real estate. I don't know, whenever it's a national holiday or whenever it's a big game day, especially the Super Bowl, that one, and sometimes those Bison game nights and all that, I don't know. I have the best luck ever. But on the other hand, again...
And I think I agree with Aruna, because if somebody's really serious, a game is not going to stop them.
A serious buyer.
Yeah.
Somebody
Serious
that's really
buyer,
serious in this market.
And, especially if they don't have any realtor lined up too, and they're just doing their own homework, if they are serious, if they are pre-approved, they will come to our open house no matter what.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
and I'm sorry to hear that, you had a fall through. That opens up more questions, because your question doesn't answer. You said they backed out due to cost. So my question to if I have a realtor, my question to a realtor would be, like, was there a denial letter issued by the lender? And normally the way I work with my buyers, especially first-time home buyers, anytime I make them put an offer or we put an offer together on a listing, we make sure they have their monthly payments run by the lender and their cash to close amount. What happened, the cost was up, like suddenly, like within like few days. And if there was no denial letter, did you get the earnest money? Because then it should go to you, because that's not a reason to back out, because they've wasted cream time for your property. Because I would say the first week to 10 days are the best golden time for a listing exposure. And again, when was the listing status change on Flex MLS? There's a lot more that goes in the deep end that normal consumers don't know. Sure. And when did the listing come back in the market? Is the listing have professional pictures? Is the staging good? And how the advertisement is done for the open houses and even for the property. So there's so many factors that go into, is the market a little slow? Because you have not provided what price range home, how many bedrooms, bathroom. But first-time home buyer price range home, I guess it was a first-time home buyer, so somewhere between $270 and $350. Are they still selling roughly between 2 to 4 weeks? Absolutely, they are.
When it comes to having to put the house back on the market at no fault of the seller's, doing, does that reflect on? So now it's back on the market. Does it show, hey, this house has always been on the market, or does that? Because some people will wonder, this has been on the market for a long time. There's got to be something off with this house, is why the premise of my question comes up.
So I think I got your question. You're saying, like, when the house came back in the market, was consumer able to see that, hey, this house came back in the market? So absolutely, there are some statuses in our MLS, like whenever something like this happened, financing fell through or house come back in the market, ethically a realtor has to go ahead and put the house with the status is called letter B, back in the market.
Yeah. Okay. And I would say a listing agent is like a mother. Like, we consider our listings as our babies. So it all depends how a parent is, sending the message out there as well. Like, so if it's a listing of mine and there's a fall through and it comes back in the market, anytime I get a showing request, I am personally calling that showing agent and saying, hey, this was sold in 2-3 days, but buyers had a cold feet due to their homework not being done. So this is a hot listing, So I'll give and I will also, even though the listing description should describe everything, but a listing agent tend to know a lot more because they're directly knowing from the seller all the best features. So I pick up the phone call and tell the showing agent all the best features because not everybody is prepared. So I think that has helped our listings in the past. Do you want to add something, Aruna?
What I have done in the past when my listing comes back in the market, I do call all those agents who have showed that home that time when their buyers couldn't get the opportunity to win this home. So technically, because we have a log where we can see how many agents have showed and what time they were in my property. So I do call back those agents. Hey, I'm so sorry, but good news maybe for your buyers, that listing came back in the market. Is your buyer still available?
Sure.
Yes. Yeah. And also, are you getting feedback? Because we tend to give feedback to our clients, almost after every showing. If not, at least catch up with them every 2 weeks to see what we could do to market it better because, things are changing. So even if the price is an issue or whatever that is, that should be a mutual discussion based on your timeline when you want it sold. Another thing as well, we tend to, send bulk emails to our other realtors and stuff. So there's so many ways. So how the house is presented, how is it marketed, how it's priced. So there is so many things all together work as a team in order to have a home sold.
Well, and this individual texts back, and I'm going to share it with you and get your response after the KFGO News Update because they did provide some details on that house with the pricing and the bathrooms and the bedrooms. So
I like it. Send those burning questions. Come, even lukewarm ones. We will answer it.
35270 is where you're sending those, and I appreciate this person texting back in with some more details so I can ask Poonam and Aruna some more details. And I would maybe suggest that you give them a call. You can go check out their numbers if you go to kfgo.com. If you just scroll down, you can see the real estate remix right there, and maybe they can help you on out. KFGO News at the bottom of the hour. If you got questions, I got answers. I got some questions of my own as well. Interest rates were cut just slightly last week. Does that impact mortgage rates coming up? Also, just a variety of things. We already talked about fall is the time to get your house listed if you're looking to sell. Also, we're going to talk about the property highlight that they've got of this month. So you're going to want to listen to that as we conclude the final half hour of Afternoons Live right after this. Compliments coming in to 35270 for Poonam and Aruna. That's Real Estate Remix. Tyler, very impressed with his sister's dual agency disclosure. Hope all agents are as knowledgeable and make it a practice to explain it to consumers.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to let this individual, because they came back and talked a little bit. I'm not going to give the address. If you want help in getting a house sold, I'd suggest you find out Poonam and Aruna's number. They're saying it was a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, $410,000 is what they're asking. The realtor paid us $2,500 in earnest money for them, the buyers. They got their money back. The house is totally updated, new flooring, and I mean a lot of new things up there. So there's some details provided. I don't know if that changes anything in your perspective.
At this point, I would say when the house came back in the market, I think Poonam is right. Seller just need to know how his house is being advertised and how the consumer is knowing that this house is available now again.
Yeah. And thank you for sharing the features. I mean, I was like, you were going over the feature list. I'm like, stop it. I'm going to make my own nest there. It's beautiful, like 5 bedrooms, 3 bathroom, 3-stall garage. It has all the great features and, some of the updates and stuff that a first-time home buyer would want. And the price is pretty reasonable from, I don't know what the square footage is again, but I guess... because we don't know inside of it. But the good thing is that you end up getting $2,500 because, it has wasted your time. That doesn't justify all the time that's wasted, but some is recovered, So all that emotions, again, is feeling, getting the home ready to show people, especially if you have young kids and stuff. It is a lot that goes into it.
Kids are puppies.
Yeah.
You both had mentioned that, not maybe this situation, but you had mentioned when you've had buyers have to pull up for whatever reason. Does it happen often?
Only, I'll be very honest, if someone had lost the job or someone ended up going apart, you know what I mean? Like a boyfriend, girlfriend bought the home and now they're not together. But I'll be very honest, thank you God, it does not happen often. Okay. It has to be some specific reason.
It's with anything really, right? Some people tend to act based on emotions. So that's where a good realtor and a good lender can come in and say, hey, hold on a second. Let's see your budget. Let's see, I know I have no say in a budget, but I can at least bring it up, based on what I know, are you sure you're comfortable with? First, get their monthly payments. Second, are you comfortable with this monthly payment? Other thing I would say, have you considered all the utility costs, and what other costs there could be? So I encourage my clients to make their budget if I am cautious, if I sense that they're going overboard. So it happens every now and then, but if you prepare your clients fully and you have given them enough information and knowledge about it, I think that helps to soothe the process. And it happens rare than that clients just walk away for that specific reason where they were like budget, oh, it was over my budget.
Speaking of doing homework and getting those details, we see headlines every now and then when these cities are putting together their budget. And you see property taxes might go up, 5% might go up. Does that ever come up in questions like, oh, well, I don't want to look there because I see that they're increasing property taxes? That come up in conversation?
This is one of the common question because Moorhead and Fargo, they're literally, like I say, sister neighborhoods. You know what I mean? Always, this is the first question I've been asked from my clients. Should I buy a house in Moorhead or should I buy a house in Fargo? And
even if they don't ask and they're open to both, then we sit down with them and say, okay, let's do pros and cons. Are you a number person? And most of the people say, yeah, who doesn't like numbers and budget? So let's sit down and see how it's going to look like solid numbers, right? Your income, so the income tax is higher in one state versus another. Utilities are higher in one state versus another.
Property taxes are higher.
So overall, what works for you if you're open to both? And then there's so many other things. Like if you have a kid who goes to a specific school district and they love it, then of course you're going to pick that. But we tend to give them all the information so the decision can be easy. That's the first meeting that you need to
get the decision. Because I know, going back to my personal experience, when we were making that move, we had a house in town here for over 10 years, and we were just ready for a move. It wasn't an urgent thing. We just wanted some changes. And, we dabbled on that. Well, Moorhead, Fargo, different smaller communities around. And that was the first conversation we had. Want to pay more in income taxes, or you want to pay more in property taxes? And it weighs in to that. Another person's asking, how about special assessments? Does that get brought up in these conversations?
Yes, and even if it doesn't, we bring it up. I mean, even with this preliminary, Moorhead taxes going up, I would bring that up with my future clients because, that's knowledge is power. They need to know what they're going into. Yeah, special assessment is a big thing because that could throw you off on your monthly budget. Like, I don't know. I guess many people probably don't understand how these specials are spread out. Special assessments are based on the, improvements. In simple words, there's a water line, sewer line, and these projects are separately done. And each project will show the amount you owe to the city because city has done it for you. And that amount is probably spread over 8 years, and you pay a certain payment every month for the 8 years. Then some projects might be spread over 25 years. So if a $10,000 is spread out over 25 years, the payment is going to be smaller compared to a $10,000 special assessment spread out to be paid back in 8 years, the payment is going to be higher. So that could be make or break, So it is really important to know.
Well, and that's been in the headlines in a small community. I mean, in Horace, where you have some homeowners down there that make the claim that they were surprised that all of a sudden these specials are being dumped on them, making it unaffordable to live in that home now.
Yeah.
And having to make that decision of, well, we can't afford this, so now what? Yeah. So having that information up front and the transparency, I think, is the takeaway from today, whether it's about the dual brokerage, about property taxes, special assessments, and having people you can trust to actually walk you through it.
Absolutely. And transparency, especially with Horace, if city hasn't had much of information, none of the realtors, none of the lenders have been given information. But as long as they said, you know what, this is based on the previous data, but in future, we don't know. I think that's transparency. Telling my clients, hey, this has happened or this could happen, the specials could go higher. I don't know how much they will go higher. We could do whatever the resources we have been given, like call the city, talk to the lender, and try to get information. But if there's nothing there, it's nothing there. And that's why I would say, when there is uncertainty about something, I would rather go with something that is more factual and solid number, something that's already been assessed versus not assessed, a special assessment.
Another question coming in, since we're on the topic of, what goes into that budget decision. How about the huge increases in homeowners insurance?
Well, because there's quite a few things go. Of course, the homeowner insurance, oh my gosh, I think last year it all started, the jump.
Yeah.
Like I think most of even like West Fargo, South Fargo, I think a lot of owners got the letters in the mail. Yes, that was one of the things we heard from our clients that now it went up like $600 more or like $700 more and nobody knew why. It just happened.
Yeah. Well, I got one of those letters, and I very much enjoy my my insurance agent. But, with all the natural disasters, whether it's the wildfires, the hurricanes, the thing that's probably the most frustrating is the roof.
Yes.
The changes that they made with, hey, if your roof is over, 10 years old, and the changes of what you have to pay for that. Not a dang thing a person can do about it, but when it comes to making a decision what you can afford, it does definitely have an impact on it.
Maybe we need to bring one of our insurance agent in the show to get more of the details.
And absolutely, we need to bring an expert. But I have worked in insurance many years ago, and I would say, the cost is increasing. But again, if you're buying a home, get the home insurance quote in the early process, as you're putting an offer, because there's still contingency and inspection and all that stuff. Get your quotes ready. If the roof is over 10 years old, then of course, keep in mind the insurance is probably going to be about 10 to 20% higher. Same thing with sump pump coverage. I think standard sump pump coverage is $10,000, but if you want a little bit more, because that's one of the major reason for water in the basement in our area. So have all those things. And what's important to you? I would rather pay $200 more a year in insurance for the peace of mind that, if something happens to my home, I will get a brand new siding versus just patch the. So ask questions. There's so much goes into it. And I know there's going to be a lot of details, but ask questions. I'll say questions. No question is dumb question, and be prepared. And also, the way you, shop for the rates, make sure you shop for insurance too.
Poonam and Aruna are here for about another 12 minutes. So we're going to take a weather update from Too Tall Tom. We'll come back and wrap up this month of Real Estate Remix next. Compliments pouring in. Tyler, this has been one of my favorite segments. They provide so much valuable information. Aruna, you probably want to take a crack at that one?
Thank you.
So you know who to call now. Thank you.
Yeah, and if you're wondering about some of that information, if you go to kfgo.com, you can scroll down just a little bit, find the Real Estate Remix with Sisters Who Sell and Tell.
I'm blushing.
And you can find the contact for Poonam and Aruna here. And you're maybe going to want to contact them on this listing. This is the listing of the month, Aruna. Is that how I understand it?
Oh, my God. I have a super hot deal to discuss about. It's listing of the month. The address is of that listing, first of all. Be ready, guys. It's 6669 Belding Drive, South Fargo.
Hold on right there. I like it. 6669. Belding Drive. I like the numbers. Okay.
You are bad. Anyways, okay, let's go. So the price is listed for $438,900, and the best part, it's a Rambler, fully finished basement, 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom, 3-stall garage. And here you go. Listen, Linda. The builder is throwing $30,000 promotion on it, which again, $10,000 you can use it towards the price reduction, or you can use it towards the closing cost, and rest of the $20,000 can be used upgrades, such as tell Mr. Builder to put the deck for you or put the fence out there for you. So that money is a free money, guys. Take advantage of it. And I really want to read this quote. My sister always say it to her clients. Gosh, I'm going to make your day today.
Now she's blushing.
Oh, I am. So Poonam's best quote, whenever she's trying to in selling mode, this is what she says. Because in real estate, the best time to buy was yesterday. The next best time is today. Today, guys,
okay.
Is that how you sound?
No. First of all, who did you call Linda? I'm not Linda. Second, she missed out some of the cool features of this home. It's a brand new home, never been lived. So there's 2 years tax abatement, guys.
Thank
Amazing.
You.
Over 2,500 square feet of fully finished 3-stall garage that has a service door, and it's fully finished, means it has a floor drain, sheetrocked and insulated.
And have a window in the garage.
Hot deal. I mean, I am surprised that it's available still. So 6669 Belding Drive South.
And builder is throwing 2-year builder warranty on this house too. So again.
Yes, and this dialogue she mentioned, I only said to a client today because they have been so uncertain. They're really ready and approve and everything. They've had some anxiety issues. So I went over some of the list, they don't want to do a mistake. They want to be certain about it. They're overthinkers, which is okay. That's where we come in handy. So I said, use the logic and facts. And they've asked me so many times this time, when is the best time? So I use that
I have to
sentence.
say one more time, guys.
Oh my God.
Because in real estate, the best time to buy was yesterday. The next best time is today.
Put that on your T-shirts and your the things that you have.
That's our logo.
Absolutely, Karen. You can just keep your mouth shut now. Yeah,
okay, Linda.
I'm Linda. Yeah.
Okay, Linda. Thank you.
Ladies, do you want to give your numbers out? So, Linda, Karen, whoever you want to be right now. Poonam, we'll start with you if you want to give your number for people to contact you.
701-552-2937.
Very good. Aruna?
And it's 701-552-1706.
If you missed any of these, or if you want more information of Poonam and Aruna and how they can be your realtor, if you go to kfgo.com, just find the Real Estate Remix with his sisters who sell and tell. It's right there. You can find more information. Ladies, is there anything else you want to get out before I let you go?
Yes, so there's 3-4 things I'll say. Need versus want, budget reality check, market. How is market doing? Price fit, long-term lens. What is your future plan? It's based on the client who've been so, confused and uncertain, and emotional check. Never make just emotional decision. I know home is home is emotions. So use logic and facts and emotion all together and then decide.
Very good. Aruna, anything?
I think Poonam/Karen covered everything, man.
Crushed it right there.
Yeah, she is. Yes.
Ladies, always appreciate it. We'll do this again next month.
Yes, thank
Very
you.
good. Poonam and Aruna, again, KFGO.com. You can find the link there. You can find their contact. And if you missed any of the conversations from the previous months, well, it's just one click away.